Best dribble moves for 6'4" and under guards, and I will be breaking down the combos and dribble moves individually and comparing them to each other right after with a controller cam. Dribble style top two are Darius Garland and Russell Westbrook. I prefer Darius Garland because he has a really fast burst to the ball hand. Now the thing about small guards is they always burst towards the ball hand. You should always burst towards the ball hand with their dribble styles. And the tall guards, you should always cross launch with them or burst towards the off ball hand. But you see with the Darius Garland dribble style, we burst really fast on a build like this. You can burst out of multiple dribble moves this year, so having a solid dribble style is very important. Moving on to the size up, you have Trae Young, which is probably the best. You have Kemba Walker if you can't get Trae Young, and you have Dwayne Wade. All of these three are different ball handle thresholds, and all of them are really good. Trae Young is very fast, but it's a little wide. Kemba Walker has a nice combo with it, which I'll talk about later. And Dwayne Wade is kind of just a solid mix all around. Not too fast, but he keeps the ball safe. Regular breakdown is Isaiah Thomas. He shifts directions a lot, and you can burst out of this after he shifts directions a few times. In the aggressive breakdown combo, I'm using Jordan Poole, but these are subject to change because breakdown combos aren't the biggest thing this year, but Jordan Poole has a nice double tween that he moves forward with, and you can combo out of. You see right here, I'm using the regular breakdown combo, and then the aggressive breakdown combo, and then an aggressive behind the back into a dunk in the rec. For escape moves, Stephen Curry is probably top one. He has an amazing escape crossover. He has also some pretty good combo moves within it, but his escape cross is really good. We'll talk about that later. But also the budget options here are going to be Damian Lillard and De'Aaron Fox if you guys can't get that Stephen Curry escape move. Or if you guys just want to mix things up, I do break down all of these escape moves later in the video. And De'Aaron Fox actually surprised me with how shifty all of his moves in his escape package are. But Stephen Curry escape moves is what you're going to see all of the competitive or sweaty stage guards using, just because his escape turbo crossover is just so wide and creates so much separation. Moving on to combo moves, Ja Morant is top one, and it's not even close. How fast he does the combo move and how fast you can burst off of it and shoot off of it is unmatched by any of his competitors. Blending this into your combos, not only to be a threat to take off, but also finish your combos with, can be really deadly. As you see, I'm about to do the combo move here, and then I burst off of it with the Darius Garland dribble style. Crossover, I recommend Damian Lillard, and if you can't get that, you also have Chris Paul, which is basically the same thing as Damian Lillard, but one is just at 90 overall ball handle and one is at 80 overall ball handle. This crossover can really push the pace and split the defenders as you're faking to go outwards, not just cut right back in. Behind the back, I really like Trae Young the best. I know Darius Garland is the most popular behind the back, and that's probably what all the stage and competitive guards will use. But after using these two, you know, in between each other and mixing it up, I actually prefer Trae Young's behind the back more than Darius Garland. Now, I'll talk about it more in the breakdown with the controller kit. Don't get me wrong, they're both really nice, and they both provide really good animations in this year's game. But with the Darius Garland dribble style, it could have been my fault, but I was getting a lot of turnovers with his standing behind the back, the little hop when he tosses it behind his back. I was getting a lot of turnovers with that, and defenders would actually blitz me, or they wouldn't like reach, but if they were pressing me and I would do that behind the back, it would result into a lot of turnovers. But Trae Young really wasn't any turnovers all like that. But comboing the standing behind the back into the aggressive behind the back, the 2K20 OG one, and then you can shoot off of that or take off of that aggressive breakdown combo. Add some versatility into your behind the back packages. As you see, I see the ankle breaker and I instantly shoot off the aggressive behind the back. Spin move, I'm using Steve Nash, not the biggest thing in the world. Hesitation, I'm using Pro, not the biggest thing in the world either. Step back though, you have a few options. You have Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, Tyrese Halliburton, and Luka Doncic. Now, I love Devin Booker. He doesn't have the best snatch back, but he does have a really good running step back. Luka Doncic doesn't have a good running step back, but he has a really good snatch back, and he has a really good Asta slide, like a running forward step back. But you see right there how you can get a consistent and safe quick stop out of this. You can also let the step back animation play out to really create separation and get that distance between you and your defender right there. Let it play out, get my feet behind the 3-point line, create just enough separation to get an open shot. You can also do quick stops off of this. You can shoot and cancel the step back animation, or you can let the step back animation play out. You guys know it takes forever to set your feet this year, so having that as, you know, a valid option is also really good. Hop jumper, I love my Jordan Clarkson. I'm surprised you can get it on the small guard as well. After getting it on the big guard and seeing how overpowered it was, I was really surprised to get on the small guard. But Bradley Beal for the pull-up, this is a really nice pull-up. I like doing my rhythm shooting pull-ups off of this as well. And for the go-to shots, I've been using Jalen Suggs. Now, Jalen Suggs' go-to shot is pretty popular at this point. It might be the most popular for the builds this year because it has a little, you know, It's quick, so it looks a little crazy. I wish we could get the Bryce one because I really like to time this one on my tall guards. It's real easy to time. And Damian Lillard, I tried. It's actually horrible. I got bumped out of it every time. I thought it would be good to hunt the mid-range with it, but I was getting bumped out of it every time. So stick to probably Jalen, probably Bryce. There's probably other ones that are really good. I'm just, not labbed up on them. But just how fast this was, you see my defender turn his back. I was able to hit it. I like starting it in my dominant hand because he just does the tween cross into the pull-up. Makes it as a very fast animation. Let's go ahead and get into the dribbling breakdown with a controller cam. All right, now I'm gonna dive into each animation I just showed you guys and kind of teach you guys the controls with a controller cam, dive a little deeper into every individual animation. So if I had to go with a set lineup and I can get every animation I wanted, this would probably be the animations that I would rock with. But first, let's compare Darius Garland and Russell Westbrook, as those two are the top two right now until we get De'Aaron Fox. So both Darius Garland and Russell Westbrook have this crazy speed boost towards the ball hit. And you can do this off any move. You see me do it off the jaw combo move and I take off. It's really, really fast. And this build only has an 86, maybe an 87 speed ball. This build has an 87 speed ball to get the Russell Westbrook. Gold, lightning launch, everything. You can do it off the step back. You can take off. It makes your player really, really fast. But it's like the cross launches with the Garland and the Westbrook, like they're not, you don't want to go. You want to cross launch on the tall guards, but you don't want to cross launch on the small guards. You want to speed boost towards your ball hand on the small guards. You don't want to do that on the tall guards. So let's switch out to Russell Westbrook. Here, he gets like no animation. He just takes off. He just takes off. And some people like it better than Darius Garland, but I think more and more people are starting to like Darius Garland over Westbrook. A lot of people use this on launch, but looking at Darius Garland, how you can explode out of moves sometimes, I think Garland is the top one. You can argue he gets a little bit better of a cross launch, but there's no point to even cross launch on a small guard when your speed boost towards your ball hand is that fast. Now for size ups, let's look at Trae Young first. I'm just gonna skim through these three size ups, but you see how fast, oh, that was a combo move. But you see how fast, like he just combos moves together. That's what size up's really for. It's really just for connecting moves together. And you take off. It's really just, connecting moves together. Size up isn't the most important thing, but it is pretty important this year because you can just do a size up cross and then take off depending on what dribble style you have on. So this is probably top one, but I have noticed he does, go wide here and there, and it does get bump stolen here a little bit, but you shouldn't be, spamming this in front of a defender regardless. Now we go down to Kemba Walker, and this is why I'll show you guys Dwayne Wade and Kemba Walker. I like Kemba Walker kind of just from the nostalgia from 22. I used his size up. But he has a good tween and behind the back, as you see right there. If you flick too fast, you'll get your combo moves. But pay attention to the speed I'm flicking my right stick at. I'm flicking it just a little slower than I would with the combo moves. Combo moves, it's real quick. But size up, it has a little bit of a slower timing. And he does that little after behind the back, he does that little hezzy there. So you go tween behind the back and then you can take off of that. So it adds just another combo to your game. So if you don't get Trae Young, I would recommend Kemba or Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, he isn't nothing flashy, but he keeps the ball like tight to his body. So it's really you're not dribbling far wide or anything. It's nothing flashy, but it's still like good to connect moves. It's not slow in anything. It's a decent speed all around with the cross, the tween, the behind the back. It's all like the same safe animation. So this wouldn't be a bad idea for those budget ball handlers. Now for breakdown combos, I'm not going to go over them too much. I have the regular breakdown combo as Isaiah Thomas. He kind of just hops back and forth. And this would be really good in previous years because you would hop forward and then you could like crab a defender. After you hop, you would get his hip and then you would crab him after that. But crabbing isn't crazy OD this year, so you kind of just hop in, shift in momentum, and then you take off. I did a size up at the end of it, but you can just shift momentum side to side and then you can take off from it. With the aggressive breakdown combo, you're holding RT, you're flicking up on the right stick, and you're getting this animation here. And you can let it all play out, but I like to just let the first two tweens play out just like that. Or maybe even the behind the back I'll let play out. But I like to just let those two tweens play out. And then, you can combo out of it. I mean, I didn't do the best combo right there, but you do that, and then you can combo out of it. So I just like doing the first two tweens, and then, letting it rock from there. But I'm sure you guys can find other combo or breakdown moves that you guys like better. Now the escape, Curry kind of dominates in this realm because he has this wide cross. Now, you don't want the extra dribbles at the end. So whenever you cross, you kind of want to combo out of it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, you kind of want to combo out of it. And you don't want those extra dribbles, but he does have a really wide cross. And you can speed boost just off of that cross too if you cancel the move in the middle of it. You don't want the extra dribbles out of it. So you just kind of like break out. And after the wide cross, you know, obviously it creates a lot of separation. So he kind of, you know, he's kind of top 1 right now for escape moves for at least season 1. And since he goes so wide, you can go really wide, hop jumper. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get real creative, and then you have your regular breakdown that like shifts side to side. So you can really start to blend all these moves together. Now, if you can't get Steph Curry, you got a couple options. You have De'Aaron Fox, which I didn't like too much. I don't know, I couldn't burst off of it too well. Maybe I was timing it wrong. But Damian Lillard is a solid one. His turbo crossover has always been nice. It's always been really quick. Throwing it on, you can get this like turbo cross. And this is real nice for like crabbing defenders, obviously, but just comboing out of too. You can kind of like, the speed boost is like a little delayed, but the turbo cross is nice to combo it with other moves. He also gets a nice like escape combo move. So if you flick away from the ball hand towards the ball hand, you'll get this animation here. You'll get this, and you can, you know, combo that with a behind the back, maybe another aggressive behind the back, and you can get creative from there. Now, De'Aaron Fox, he has this, you know, kind of quick move here. And you can burst off of it. It's a little delayed, just like all of them are. But you can combo it pretty fast. And you can get pretty shifty with it. But it's not really the best for 3 hunting, in my opinion. It doesn't create a lot of separation. But if you're somebody that isn't counting on separation, and you're kind of just wanting to shift the defender to get to the rim, then this could, you know, this could probably work for you. It could probably be your favorite. He also gets some shifty combos with his escape. If you guys don't know, watch my dribble tutorials. I go over how there's combos in the escape packages now. But if you're more of a shifty guy, you can probably mess with De'Aaron Fox, because if I hold right trigger and I go left and right on the right stick, I get this animation, and it doesn't look too well at the surface, but he does kind of just like fake going to the opposite side, and he speed boosts towards, you know, the ball hand. He also gets this combo move if you go away from the ball hand and then towards the ball hand. You know, you see how he's like faking. It's almost like a misdirection, but, you know, a little bit more realistic than we had in previous years. You know, I see how he's hopping to one side. This is just a shifty escape moves. So I might have to give this another try. Because, you know, for rim running, maybe a slasher, maybe you're a slasher, you could probably mess with De'Aaron Fox. Ja Morant combo moves. As of right now, this is top 1, and it's not even close. Just how fast he moves, it's just insane. Because you can do it. You can catch a defender's shoulder, and you can shoot off of it. Like, you're moving fast and then you're just going to a shooting motion immediately. It's kind of crazy. But you can also do it and then take off from it. So you're dribbling fast, and then your takeoff is fast with the Darius Garland dribble style. So having this move, like comboing it up, disguising it, and then pulling it out to get to the rim is really useful this year. Crossovers, we got Damian Lillard. If you don't have a 90, you can use Chris Paul as a budget one. And if you don't mess with either of those, you can use like this wide Devin Booker. It looks a lot better in the game than it does in the animation screen. But you see how shifty and how well it changes directions with the Damian Lillard crossover. Kind of like you can split defenders really easily, especially if they're playing like drop coverage or something, and the defender, the big just steps just a little bit, or you're just trying to split away from that hash pinching defender. If you play rec or whatever, say there's a defender over there, you're kind of just trying to split them. You can't run too harshly to the side, but you can definitely change directions really fast with this crossover. Behind the backs, I know Darius Garland is probably the most popular right now, but I was getting a lot of TOs, which it could be completely my fault, from his standing behind the back, how he just like hops with it, the old Tyrese Halliburton behind the back. I was losing the ball. I was getting turnovers, because when a defender can, you know, see it coming, he can definitely run over there, and if you do that with a defender next to you, you just drop the ball, which that's how it should be. Maybe I should be dribbling smarter in those situations. Maybe I was having some bad games. But I prefer Trae Young behind the back now, and let me show you why. This is the same move I have on my 6'7". It's the old James Harden from 24. He kind of, you know, creates that separation, moves backward as he's, you know, doing the behind the back. So you're not just going sideways, you're going backwards to create that separation a little bit. Also, He has a good double flick aggressive behind the back. Let me see if I can get it. It kind of like puts him towards the rim. It doesn't make him wide. It doesn't make him wrap extra wide. You know, if you catch your defender going one way and you do that the other way, should be a clear lane to the basket. Also, his moving behind the back, although it got slowed down to hell and back, it's still like one of the best moving behind the backs in the game, even though it's slowed down. But comboing these three, I mean, they're all three decent moves. I can combo his behind the back with this. I can burst out of that with the aggressive behind the back and go from there. But with Darius Garland, I mean, this move is nice. It creates a lot of separation, goes sideways, right? And he does have good moves all around. I mean, he has a good double flicking one too. He has the OG 2K21 that creates, you know, separation and can get you to the rim. He also has a good moving behind the back, kind of. It kind of like slows down at the start, but, you know, the moving behind the backs are really slowed down this year, so you got to take what you can get. But with this animation here, I was getting TOs. Like, I don't know if they were trying to press me or what. I was getting some TOs, and maybe it was just a bad day, some bad games, or bad dribbling on my part, but I was getting a lot of TOs. And, you know, I was getting way less TOs with Trae Young behind the back, and it was giving me the same effect of creating that separation and moving me backwards. But this is nice to combo off of, especially speed boosting off of this. It's real nice. So I can't really define which one's better than the other. Again, you guys just have to hop into my court, get experience, and see which behind the back you guys like better than the other. Spin move is alright, hesitation alright, both mid, but Devin Booker behind the back, I'm going to show you guys why I use this. Now, we can't get Jimmy Butler, but Booker and Butler both have a quick stop inside of them. Luka Doncic, he has a good snatchback, and he also gets the Asta slide, so I see a lot of people using this. I see some people using Tyrese Halliburton, and I see some people using Zach LaVine, and we can go over all of these now. Now, Booker doesn't have the best snatchback between them all. You know, it's a little slower. It's not as snappy, but his running horizontally step back is what sets him apart from the other step backs, because you can create a lot of separation this way, and it sets your feet. Another thing about this one is you set your feet, but you can also cancel out the move to have a quick stop within this step back. So if I shoot as soon as I see the animation play out, hold on, let me get some bad speed boost here. If I shoot as soon as I see the animation play out, I can cancel the step back animation and shoot in the middle of it and kind of get like a quick stop animation, as you see right there, because it takes forever to set your feet if you're not doing some type of stopping dribbling move. It takes, going full speed, it takes forever to set your feet, and you don't want to get that slow pull up, bro. It's happened a lot this year. You want easy and consistent way to set your feet. I'm just using this. Now, if you don't quick stop off of it, you can let the animation play out. You can set your feet behind the 3-point line, and then you can shoot from there, or you can cancel a move and shoot right at the beginning of the step back. Now, if we look at Luka, he doesn't get the best like running hop back, right? You see it, it's not bad, but it's definitely, you know, not as good as his competitors. What he does get is this snatch back here that a lot of people use. A lot of people love this. They'll be running and they'll do the snatch back. I did the Asta slide, but you know, they'll stop and then do the snatch back, and they create a lot of separation that way. Another thing is he gets the Asta slide, and this is whenever you're running towards the rim and you flick down on the right stick. This leads to a lot of crabs, but you can also speed boost off of it and create even more opportunities. And Zach LaVine is kind of in the mix between the two. He gets the, you know, the snatch back that creates a lot of separation. He gets this, so you catch a lot of defenders like that. He doesn't get like an Asta slide. He gets a really bad running one, but running horizontal, he gets a decent one that you can kind of burst out of. Now, whenever you're on a tall guard, you want to cross launch out of this. Whenever you're on a small guard, you want to run towards the ball hand. So I'm running to the side, and then I hit this stop, and it's kind of like a stop and go almost. Right, so let me do it one more time. I'm going to speed boost to the right. I'm going to do a moving step back, and then I'm going to keep going to the rim. I'm going to speed boost towards the ball hand. Whenever you're on a taller guard, you want to cross launch out of that, but not with the small guards because their cross launches aren't as good. But switching back to the animations, these are the animations that I would use. Of course, I love my Jordan Clarkson hop jumper. The Bradley Beal dribble pull-ups, real nice on the small guards. John Morant go-to shot. I've been switching this from John Morant. I've really been using Jalen Suggs online. This is real nice. It's just real quick and just creates that little separation. Real fast go-to. And these are the animations that I would rock with if I had to play my best game right now. So drop a like on today's video if I helped you guys out at all understanding the basics of this year's dribbling system. Drop a sub because we are chasing that 100K milestone. As always, I can't thank you guys enough. I'll catch y'all boys in the next one.